So, while on the hunt for new shows to watch on Netflix, because regardless of how much we shit on Netflix on the internet, it costs a shit ton of money. We still pay for it, so we're gonna use it. But as I was saying, I began thinking about Netflix's very large but very iffy teen drama catalog. I've been a Netflix user since an early teen, and I'm in my early 20s right now. So I've seen pretty much all of them. Good, bad, ugly, movie, TV show. For every good TV show they put out another 2 terrible movies. For every mid TV show that feels like it's overstaying its welcome, there's a very great TV show that they drop that only lasts for 1 season. So, needless to say, I go into every Netflix original series with an open mind, but with a lot of worries. With that being said, that's how I found Elite, the Spanish Netflix original teen drama that follows multiple students throughout the elite private school of Los Encinas. To think of it, I think I tried to start watching this show as well back when it started in 2018. One of my vibes tried to put me on, but of course we weren't really watching the show anyway. But now I am proud to say that my fear of subtitles have subsided. I have watched this show in full, and I can say it's alright. Listen, man, I'd say that Elite is a good teen drama. Of course, it overstays its welcome by the 8th season. Of course, by the end of that 8th season, most of the characters on the show are either very uninteresting or unrecognizable. But before we get into the bad, let's talk about how great the first 4 seasons are. The first 3 seasons of this show is its prime. It has the best characters, the best narratives, the best storylines when it comes to relationships between the students. The murder mystery elements of this show is fantastic. I love it. The way we jump back and forth between timelines of interrogations and the moments that happen between the characters is impeccable. I love it, love it, love it. And I probably should mention, for a teen drama, this show pushes the boundary a lot. Is not afraid to go there in the slightest, sometimes for its benefit, but for a lot of the time for its downfall. It's so many sex scenes on this show, bro. Like it's ridiculous. And there's also a couple, and as in a couple I mean 2, which is kind of weird that they did this shit twice. But there are a couple of pretty uncomfortable incest storylines in this show. I like the murder mystery elements of this TV show. None of the killers throughout the entire series seem predictable in any way, and all of the reveals are pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. When season 4 came and the Blancos were introduced into the show, I kind of felt something shift. Not to say that I didn't enjoy the Blancos on this show. I mean, Mencia is one of my favorite characters throughout the entire series, seeing her storylines of her being trained or groomed into being pimped, her relationship with her father, her relationship with Rebecca. Watching the Blanco siblings' relationship with each other was also pretty interesting, and neither Ari or Patrick was ever saddled with a boring storyline throughout their entire stay on the show. By the end of season 2 and 3, watching most of the core cast that we start with at the beginning of the show leave the show completely, and watching the Blancos come in season 4 with 4 fresh characters, I knew there was going to be a shift in the show, which there was, and it seemed kind of promising because season 4 wasn't that bad. And then there's season 5. While watching a show, I want to see what other people think while I watch it. So once I finish a season, I might watch the season review. I might go on the internet and see what controversy the show might have picked up on social media. And one of the main things I saw about Elite is that a lot of the fans think that the show should have ended after the 3rd season. And when I first read that, I was like, nah, man, season 4 is a step down from the best season of the show, period, season 3. But you still have to give them a chance to, try to at least step up from season 4 and season 5. They did not step up in season 5. By season 5, this shit is literally just the Fresh Prince Will Smith walking into an empty house meme. Most of the first batch of characters are completely gone. The only ones that are left are Omar, Samuel, Rebecca, and Cayetana. That's it. And Cayetana and Rebecca came in the 2nd season. So most of the first season characters are wiped completely clean from the show. And it only makes it worse that Samuel, who throughout this series pretty much plays the series protagonist, that his character is completely destroyed in the 5th season. And I won't spoil anything, but to the people who've actually watched this show, compare Samuel's characteristics from the 2nd season to the 5th. Him going from I can't trust a rich motherfucker as far as I can throw him, to him trusting Benjamin so much that he confesses to a crime that he doesn't commit. I don't get it. It was weird. After season 5, Rebecca's, Cayetana's, Samuel, and Omar's characters were all written off the show. And by the 6th season, they didn't do the best job at making us care about these motherfuckers. The only characters left that I cared about on this show was Mencia, and she was put in a throuple storyline with an influencer and her abusive boyfriend. And I guess Isadora got more attention from me. And I guess she was the only reason why I would watch 7 and 8. I think this show fails where most of these shows that last this long fail. And there's only so much you can do in the teen drama genre to push the envelope as much as you can. There's instances like Degrassi where they have multiple shows written by different people. Shows like Skins where they have multiple generations just like this show, but I think they changed writers a couple of times. For what I'm knowing, these are the same writers throughout the entire series. So of course it is natural that they stop having shit to write about. I like Delete, but the more I think about how useless the last 2 seasons were, the more I think that I agree with the people who said that the show needed to end on season 3. But what I will say is, regardless of how forgettable the last 2 seasons of the show are, the ending is pretty good. Now, this will contain a spoiler, but this is the first time I've ever seen one of these schools get shut down. I did like throughout my entire life, I've watched all of these shows from Gossip Girl to Degrassi, Euphoria, all these shows, Skins, all of these shows. It's some crazy shit that goes on between the walls of these high schools when they even choose to go to school. But to see this school get shut down and see all the elite students being forced to go to regular school, it's fucking hilarious. But all in all, I'd recommend Delete. It's very good at the beginning and it drags on way too long with 8 seasons, but if you can get attached to some of these characters on the latter end, I think that you could still enjoy the show as much as you do in the beginning. But I couldn't seem to care at all about most of the characters in the last 2 seasons other than maybe Isadora. And that's a strong maybe, and maybe Ivan, because those are 2 characters that showed up in the 5th season, and those are the oldest characters when the show ends. So hey, it's an alright show. Go check it out.